Bwana Mtume Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam akatufundisha baada ya bwana mmoja kuja kwa Mtume sallallahu alaihi wasallama ambaye anatoka kabila la Bani Salima. Akaja kwa Mtume akamuita kwa heshima, ya Rasulullah, hal baqiya min birri abawayya shay'un abarruhuma bihi ba'da mautihima? Je, kuna wema ambao umebakia kwa wazazi wangu ni wafanyie baada ya kufa? Mtume sallallahu alaihi wasallam akamwambia naam. Akamwambia as-salatu alayhima, waombee wazazi wako, wal istighfaru lahuma, na watakie msamaha wazazi wako kwa Mwenyezi Mungu Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, wa infadhu ahadihima, na kutekeleza ahadi zao ambazo waliziahidi. Kisha Mtume akasema wasilatu rahimi allati la tusalu illa bihima, na kuunga uzazi ambao hauungiki ila kupitia wazazi wawili, wa ikramu sadiqihima, na kuwakirimu marafiki zao baada ya wazazi kuondoka. Wameondoka duniani, walikuwa na marafiki, kwa hivyo marafiki zao uweze kuwafanyia ikram. Ndio ikram hii Bwana Mtume Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallama aliweza kutufundisha kimaneno na akatufundisha kivitendo. Bi Aisha akisema sikuwa na ghera juu ya mke yoyote wa Mtume sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ma ghirtu ala Khadija, sikuwa na wivu na Khadija, wa ma raaituha qattu, wala sijamuona kamwe, walakin kana yukthiru dhikraha, lakini Mtume sallallahu alaihi wasallama alikuwa akikithirisha sana kumtaja Bi Khadija. Warubama, na wakati mwingine dhabiha shata, Mtume sallallahu alaihi wasallama anachinja mbuzi, thumma yuqatti'uha a'dha'a, kisha mbuzi yule anamkatakata akimgawanya mafungu, thumma yab'athuha fi sadaiqi Khadija, kisha mafungu yale anayapeana yapelekwe kwa marafiki wa Khadija. Farubama qultu lahu, nafikia nasema kumwambia Mtume, ka'allam yakun fi dunya illa Khadija, kama hakukuwa katika dunia hii wake wengine isipokuwa Khadija. Mtume sallallahu alaihi wasallama anamwambia Bi Aisha, innaha kanat wa kanat, Bi Khadija alikuwa na alikuwa, wa kana li minha waladun, na Bi Khadija alinizalia watoto. Kwa hivyo tumeona Mtume sallallahu alaihi wasallama namna anavyowakirimu marafiki wa Bi Khadija kwa kuchinja wanyama na kuwaganyia zile nyama. Asema kana idha dhabiha shata yakulu arsilu biha ila sadaiki asdiqai Khadija. Mtume sallallahu alaihi wasallama anamgawanya mafungu kisha anawapea watu, anasema wapelekeeni marafiki wa Bi Khadija. Yatosha machache haya. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala atuafikie katika khairi. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Leo ni ile siku ya double kwenye quickbit.co.ke. Tunakupa home theater na fridge.
Kama unataka home theater ni rahisi sana. Enda kwenye lipa na M-Pesa, paybill number ekelea 4032353, 4032353, account ekelea HT kama kodi ya home theater, fuatanisha na unique number.
Kama unataka fridge wekelea CM ndio kodi ya fridge, kisha fuatanisha na shilingi 20 peke yake. Wekelea pin yako na hivyo ndivyo utakuwa umekelea bid kwenye quickbit.co.ke. Bidhaa bora kwenye bei ya nini?
Chini kwa chini.
Jiunga na QuickBid ni rahisi. Enda kwenye M-Pesa, bonyeza paybill kisha weka business number 4032353. Kwenye account weka kodi ya bidhaa unayotaka na bidi yako ya chini zaidi. Kwa mfano TV 16, kisha weka shilingi 20 tu kama idadi yako. Weka bidi yako pia kwenye www.quickbid.co.ke. Kumbuka, bidi ya chini zaidi ya kipekee ndio ununua. QuickBid, bidhaa bora kwa bei ya chini.
Good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for joining us for this edition of Channel 1 Lunchtime News, live from the corporation headquarters in the Broadcasting House, Nairobi. And this afternoon, President Uhuru Kenyatta will be touring some parts of the Mount Kenya region. Of course, this is part of the government development agenda. Of course, the president is also expected to meet area leaders as well as residents of that region. We'll be giving you those details as well. The spokesperson for the National Police Service, Charles Owino, did hold a press briefing some minutes ago, and he did speak to matters national security and issues to do with security in Kapedo. We have those details for you. We'll be bringing them to you. You can follow this live broadcast on our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1 on Twitter, KBC Channel 1 TV on Facebook as well. You can also stream it on YouTube, courtesy of the KBC Channel 1 YouTube channel. Welcome to this live broadcast. My name is Edward Kabasa. Our sign language interpreter this afternoon is Susan Thuku. President Uhuru Kenyatta is set to begin a 4-day tour of the Central Kenya region. During his visit, the head of state will launch several national government development projects, inspect ongoing programs, and hold meetings with leaders and residents of the region.
President Uhuru Kenyatta will this weekend camp in the Mount Kenya region, a tour that is expected to culminate in a meeting with the area leaders. State House spokesperson Kanzi Dena on Friday said the head of state shall commission several government projects in the region.
Ataweza kuuzuru maendeleo kadha na miradi kadha mingine ambayo ilikuwa imeanza kitambo na mingine ambayo inaendelea kwa hivi sasa, lakini kwa miradi hiyo tutaweza kukupasha jinsi tunavyoendelea ili tukijua ni wapi tunatangulizia alafu ni wapi tunamalizia.
Also on the agenda is the Building Bridges Initiative, curriculum reforms and the fight.
Lakini yeye na serikali yake wanafanya kila wawezalo ili kuona ya kwamba uchumi unaweza kurejelea hali yake ya kawaida. Kwa kweli tunafahamu ya kwamba haitachukua kesho ama kesho kutwa, itachukua muda, lakini anaomba ya kwamba Wakenya watakuwa watulivu, na bila shaka wakati wanapoendelea kushirikiana na baadhi ya wadau katika sekta mbalimbali na pia mataifa ya kigeni ambao ni marafiki wa taifa la Kenya, wataweza kuona ni jinsi gani na mikakati ipi ambayo inaweza kuwekwa ili kuona ya kwamba hali ya uchumi ya Kenya inaweza kuinuka katika kipindi hiki baada ya mkasa huo.
On Saturday, the president will host a Central Kenya leaders meeting at Sagana State Lodge in Nyeri County in a closed-door consultative meeting. The head of state is also expected to speak on the status of education in the country at a time when many schools are closing and students being sent home as a result of arson. For Channel 1 News, I'm Sarafina Robbie.
Thank you very much, Serafina Ruby, for that report. United Democratic Alliance Chairperson Johnston Muthama is calling on the President to mediate between Deputy President William Ruto and ODM leader Raila Odinga to quell rising political temperatures. At the same time, Muthama says the move to allegedly exclude a section of Mount Kenya leaders from the third Sagana meeting could derail his agenda of uniting the country. Kevin Washira with the details.
As President Uhuru Kenyatta meets Mount Kenya MPs and MCAs at Sagana State Lodge this weekend, focus is now on the political dynamics of Central Kenya region, among claims by a section of the region's legislators they were left out of the meeting. And as the debate simmers on the political future of the region, United Democratic Alliance Party Chairman Johnston Muthama views the Sagana meeting as detrimental to the President's ambition of building national unity.
So, President has got only one choice now, and I want him to look at me on this screen and listen to what I'm telling him. Section 1 is where he has placed himself, is between Raila and Ruto. So the best thing to do is to call Ruto and Raila and sit them down and tell them, I made a mistake. I went with you without telling my deputy. And my deputy, I left you, I went with Raila without telling you. So here we are. If we are not careful, we are going to divide this country. Is there a way that you can sit down and agree on the way we will work together and make Kenyans and allow Kenyans to live a united nation? If that does not happen, the other section of that option, he seemed to behave the way Kibaki behaved. Say, well, yes, I've made mistakes, but you, Raila, go out and ask votes from Kenyans. Ruto, go out and ask Kenyans for votes, and everybody else, and let us see who wins.
Muthama argues the handshake failed to achieve its objective because the proponents failed to include the ruling Jubilee Party and NASA in entirety.
In Jubilee, that was one strong political party. Two groups were born. One called Tangatanga and the other one called Kieleweke. On the other side, NASA disbanded. And then Wiper went alone, NC alone, Ford Kenya alone, and ODM alone. So it divided the country. President was not with his own Jubilee entirely, and the president was also not with the opposition entirely. So he found himself in catch-22. And now, what he is trying to repair, it is not something that can be repaired. No. He cannot. And now the efforts he's making is weakening him on a daily basis.
The former Machakos senator urging the president to reach out to his deputy for the sake of national unity also cautions against imposing candidates on Kenyans. A section of members of parliament from Mount Kenya have allegedly written to President Uhuru Kenyatta saying they will not champion the BBI Constitution Amendment Bill, which they say is being fronted by opposition leader Raila Odinga. Kevin Washira, Channel 1 News.
And in other matters, the Council of Governors is set to unveil the next officials after the term of the current team lapsed. Embu Governor Martin Wambora, Kitui Governor Charity Ngilu, and Tana River Governor Dado Godana have declared their interest to replace Kakamega Governor Wycliffe Oparanya, whose 2-year term as chair has come to an end.
The politics of the Building Bridges initiative and the 2022 general election is expected to play a key role in shaping the election of the new leadership of the Council of Governors, considering the fact that the chair of the COG serves as the voice of the county governments, linking the county governments and the national executive, and hence will be pivotal in popularizing the initiative across the devolved units. The COG chair is also the vice chair of the summit, the apex body for intergovernmental relations between counties and the national government that is chaired by the president. He or she also has a lot of privileges, including unrestricted access to the country's top leadership and a standby chopper. Former Bomet Governor Isaac Ruto was the pioneer Council of Governors chair after he was elected in 2013 and served for 2 terms until 2015. He was succeeded by former Meru Governor Peter Munya, who served until 2017 before handing over to Turkana Governor Josephat Nanok. Kakamega Governor Wycliffe Oparanya was then elected in February 2020 after Nanok's 2-year mandatory term lapsed. Those interested to unseat Oparanya include Embu Governor Martin Wambora, Kitui Governor Charity Ngilu, and their Tana River counterpart, Dado Godana. The governors are also electing a new vice chair, a whip, and 12 committee chairs. For Channel 1 News, I'm Safin Aching Oma.
The government has been urged to reconsider its policy of readmitting expectant girls in school. Lavi Matthew Day Mixed Secondary School Principal Moses Marete says most of the girls attending school are facing challenges.
Has shown that nobody is immune to COVID-19, whether you are a drunkard or not. If we send them, they contact the virus and they come back. Are they going to be back to the which side? And above all, we set the example so that any
education ama serikali kuu yetu ya Kenya imekuja na mwelekeo wa kusema kwamba wasichana wote ambao wako nyumbani ambao wamepata mimba warudi shuleni. Na hiyo tunasema ni jambo mzuri kwa sababu tunajua ya kwamba masomo ni basic education na wasichana wanahitaji hayo masomo. Lakini kuangalia wakati tumefika huko mashuleni kuna mambo ambayo tumeona ya kwamba inaleta changamoto. Kwanza kabisa wana chiefs na assistant chiefs na hao wengine wote viongozi wanaenda wanashukuma watoto ama wasichana wanawarudisha shuleni. Wengine wao kwanza kuna ule anakuja labda amebakisha miezi 3, mwezi mmoja aweze kujifungua. Huyo mtoto akikuja kuketi kwa masaa 3 ama 4 kwa darasa inakuwa ni shinda kubwa sana kwake. Tunasema ya kwamba mimi nikiulizwa kungekuwa na muda ya msichana akijifungua wa kukaa nyumbani labda mwaka mmoja, alafu wakati mtoto ameanza kukula chakula then anaweza kumwacha nyumbani alafu arudi shule.
A family in Kitui Central is crying for justice after their 4-year-old daughter was allegedly sexually molested by a relative. The family claims that no action has been taken by police despite having reported the alleged crime.
The aggrieved parents said they only got to know about their daughter's ordeal a week ago after she developed urinary complications. The girl was then rushed to Kitui General Hospital for medical intervention. Maya, however, lamented that the police are reluctant to take action against the perpetrator.
Mtoto wangu amedhulumiwa na polisi hawataka kunisaidia kupata haki ya mtoto. Tafadhali mashirika yale yanahusika yasaidie kuingilia hii kitu ndio mtoto apate haki.
Tulireport toka last week but one time to report hakuna hatua yoyote imefuatiliwa, kwa hivyo tunaomba usaidizi.
Meanwhile, producers of illicit brew in Maralal town have been directed to find alternative source of livelihood. The area Nyumba Kumi chairman Gulid Mohammed said many families have been broken through irresponsible drinking of cheap liquor, a situation that has exposed children to suffering and lack of education. Maralal Chief Selina Lemakara urged residents to be responsible and avoid engaging in illegal activities.
Sasa leo si pombe tuko tunamwaga. Tulikuwa tunaangalia tu watoto wale wajaenda shule, lakini napongeza wazazi at least watoto wameenda shule. So tukapata tu shangaa on our way, tukamwaga na tunashukuru.
Finally, a Form 4 candidate and a border operator in Chepnagai village of Koiwalelach, Kericho County, have died in a 30-feet hole that was allegedly being used to store illicit brew. The two allegedly suffocated to death. Irate area residents stormed the compound, destroying hundreds of liters of illicit brew. The locals called on the government to rein in on the illegal practice.
Na sisi sote tunahuzunika kwa sababu ya hii pombe yenye imeadhiri wananchi. Hao vijana walifariki baada ya mwenye hii nyumba, hapa hii nyumba yenye tunaona, aliwatuma aenda atoe hizi pombe kwa ile shimo yenye iko na viti 30.
Tumekerwa sana na tumepata huzuni sana kwa hii mtoto wetu mwenye amefariki na hii janga la pombe. Tuko na huzuni sana kupoteza mtoto.
Beatrice Gatonyengetich, Channel 1 News.
Thank you very much, Beatrice Gatonyengetich, for that report. We are taking a very short break, but just a quick one. Police spokesperson Charles Owino did address the press on matters national security. He did send a warning to financiers of cattle rustling in Kapedo and Arabal areas that the law will catch up with them. The police is also sending a warning to students who are allegedly instigating violence and arson in schools, that they shall be held criminally liable and legal proceedings shall be taken upon them. We are taking a very short break, but please do continue interacting with us on our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1 on Twitter, KBC Channel 1 TV on Facebook. My Twitter handle is at Ed Kabasa. Don't go anywhere. Channel 1 Lunchtime News continues shortly.
Malaria ni ugonjwa hatari sana unaoua watu wengi hapa Kenya. Japo kuko na korona, hatari ya malaria bado iko. Mtoto huyu alikuwa na joto jingi, kutetemeka, kuumwa na viungo na uchovu. Alikimbizwa hospitali ya umma ambako sheria za COVID-19 huzingatiwa na ni salama kwa shughuli ya upimaji. Vipimo vilionyesha kuwa ana malaria na papo hapo daktari akampa dawa za malaria na kumshauri azimalize, na ili kujikinga wawe wakilala ndani ya neti iliyotibiwa. Malaria husambazwa na mbu. Walio hatarini ni watoto wa chini ya miaka 5 na akina mama wajawazito. Kupimwa na kutibiwa ni bure katika hospitali zote za umma. Usisahau adui malaria. Zero malaria huanza na mimi. Chukua jukumu leo. Komesha malaria. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwenu na Wizara ya Afya.
Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
What's going on between you and...
It's none of your business.
I'm in charge of all the workers.
Then consider anything you suspect going on handled. Boss.
Kabla tuanze nionyesho kwa kulala. Leo siwezi pata gari.
Tuanzeni haraka ili uende.
Ndio nimesema nionyesho kwa kulala.
Pamoja utangojea kidogo. Ulikujaga huku kufanya nini?
I think it's about time for me to have kids of my own.
So do you like her or do you want kids?
Both.
What do you know about marriage?
All you do is follow dad around like a small puppy.
You think the world revolves around you, and that's your problem.
Siku yenye nitawahi sikia umemguza tena. Ndio utaona. Utafanya nini? Nitakumaliza. Uko unakuja kuniacha ujinga.
Leo ni ile siku ya double kwenye quickbit.co.ke. Tunakupa home theater na fridge.
Kama unataka home theater ni rahisi sana. Enda kwenye lipa na M-Pesa. Paybill number ekelea 4032353. 4032353. Account ekelea HT kama kodi ya home theater, fuatanisha na unique number.
Kama unataka fridge wekelea CM ndio kodi ya fridge, kisha fuatanisha na shilingi 20 peke yake. Wekelea pin yako na hivyo ndivyo utakuwa umekelea bid kwenye quickbit.co.ke. Bidhaa bora kwenye bei ya nini?
Chini kwa chini.
Jiunga na Quickbit ni rahisi. Enda kwenye M-Pesa, bonyeza paybill kisha weka business number 4032353. Kwenye account weka kodi ya bidhaa unayotaka na bidi yako ya chini zaidi. Kwa mfano TV 16, kisha weka shilingi 20 tu kama idadi yako. Weka bidi yako pia kwenye www.quickbit.co.ke. Kumbuka, bidi ya chini zaidi ya kipekee ndio ununua. Quickbit, bidhaa bora kwa bei ya chini.
Good afternoon to you. Welcome back to the program. Civil society groups in Baringo County are calling on the government to allow them access capital to deliver humanitarian aid to affected families. The group has also called on the state to provide the media with access to the restive region for coverage on the state of affairs. 10 people have so far lost their lives in the latest spate of hostilities, among them 3 police officers. The government is currently combing the area in search of bandits accused of funding the violence.
La muhimu ni kwamba tungependa kuona wale ambao wameathirika wakipewa msaada ambao wanahitaji. Tunajua kwamba kwa sasa hakuna chakula ambayo imekuwa ikiingia huko. Tunajua kwamba shule zimefungwa, dawa kuna zahanati ambazo zimefungwa. Tungeomba serikali iweze kuhakikisha kwamba kila binadamu ameweza kuendelea na maisha yake ya kawaida hata kama tunakumbana na hii changamoto ya ukosefu wa usalama.
Disturbed that the media has been locked out of the operations area, creating room for more human rights violations by the security agencies, and which in itself a violation of media freedom provided for in the Constitution of Kenya. Disappointed that the government has failed to provide long-lasting solution as required by the law to the residents of these areas, despite various pledges and promises.
And still on matters security, the National Assembly's Committee on Administration and National Security is seeking to amend the National Cohesion and Integration Act to ensure stiffer penalties for hate speech and incitement offenders. The committee's chairperson, Paul Koinange, says NCIC should be given power to punish those found culpable, despite their prominence in government. These remarks come in the backdrop or against the backdrop of the killings in capital and insecurity cases across the country.
National Assembly's Committee on Administration and National Security Chairman Paul Koinange says a meeting is planned with the Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i, DCI and NCIC Chair to discuss the rising insecurity in Kapedo and other areas in the country.
It is very important we talk to them because we are the people on the ground and we know a lot what is happening on the ground, so they can work together as a team to make sure that Kenya is very peaceful. And we'll make sure as a committee this is going to happen.
He also disclosed that the committee is working to amend some of the clauses in the National Cohesion and Integration Act that will ensure stiffer penalties to hate speech perpetrators and political inciters.
As the preparation is ongoing, the committee requests interested parties and stakeholders to hold their proposals and to be prepared to comment on the proposed law at a later stage.
Muhimu ni kuwa tukiweza kurekebisha sheria kuhakikisha kuwa hata NCIC ambayo ni commission ya sheria yetu constitution imewapatia jukumu, inaweza pia kuhakikisha kiongozi yote ile anatumia lugha ya kuleta tofauti kati ya wananchi kulingana na ukabila na mambo mengine, anaweza kukatazwa hata kusimama katika kiti chochote kile, kama mjumbe, kama gavana, ama hata president.
At the same time, he cautioned against constant politicking.
We don't have much development. What we have more is talk from January to December. We really need to change as a country if we really love this country. You cannot say you love this country and all you do is make a lot of noise. We have hospitals to make. We need our children to go to school. We need elderly people whom we need to help. We have roads to take care of. Then why do we waste so much time just talking and not actually developing our country? It's a shame.
The youth were also challenged to desist from being used to propagate chaos. For Channel 1 Lunchtime News from Mombasa County, I am Ann Buru.
Thank you, Ann Buru, for that report. A community-based organization in Garissa has taken up the task of issuing sanitary pads to girls in schools across the county. This is after it emerged that some girls are forced to stay home and miss school for up to 1 week during their menses.
Lack of sanitary pads has led to an estimated 1 million girls missing school every month.
According to research by Kenya's Ministry of Education, girls lose an average of 4 school days every month, which translates to 2 weeks of learning each term. In a bid to ensure girls remain in school, a non-government organization in Garissa has taken up the task of distributing sanitary towels to girls. Girls, especially in the rural areas, are forced to stay home during their menses, as purchase of sanitary towels is viewed as a luxury.
The villages, wasichana wakipata and their periods, they don't come to school. They stay wanakaa nyumbani for like 5-6 days until those periods finish, and wakuja shule. So what we are doing is we are trying to keep the girls in school.
Speaking during the distribution exercise, Fatuma Ibrahim of Girl Kind further cautioned against FGM, calling on parents especially to protect their girls from the outlawed practice.
Hii women center ni wale wamama wanakeketa wasichana, ndio tunafundisha alternative livelihood, because this ukeketaji and they're getting money out of it.
She said her organization has established an alternative source of income for them, which includes the purchase of sewing machines to provide them with an alternative craft. Caroline Kamar reporting for Channel 1 Lunchtime News.
A section of former Mau fighters is decrying what it terms as neglect despite the sacrifices they made in efforts to liberate Kenya from the shackles of colonialism. The former fighters claim despite suffering under the colonial government, they are yet to enjoy the fruits of independence.
James Mwita says he still remembers the struggle it took to liberate the country from colonial rule.
Wapeperu tulimwambia maende kwao, Mungu akasaidia sisi, tukamapiga mpaka tukamapota.
The 100-year-old veteran, however, says the desire for independence has brought nothing but pain for some of the men and women who gave their all to free the country.
Na pesa ile mimi napewa ni serikali, sijui inapotea kwa wapi. Ngaona iko haja sana ya mtu sasa mimi kitu ile inapewa ni serikali, hapana pikia kwa mimi. Inapotea kwa jiani. Ngaona hiyo ni maneno hapana mzuri.
Though his health has deteriorated due to age and the torture he underwent during his incarceration, he insists that the struggle for independence was a worthy cause.
Tulitumia kisu na mikuki na tukanyaganya hawa mshinga, tukamambiga naye. Lakini tulimapota. Shari mariagaria, makatupiga na ndege, msituni, na sisi Mungu akasaidia sisi kuo.
They are appealing to the government and Kenyans of goodwill to lend a hand to enable them live a desirable life. For Channel 1 News, I'm Jacqueline Mashare.
Kelena Olenchoi has been elected the new Maasai Council of Elders chairperson in Narok County. Olenchoi defeated Kasiane Ole Esho by a landslide after all the 59 elders threw their weight behind him. Olenchoi has vowed to unite the community by fostering peace among elders and members of the Maasai community.
In fact, when it comes to the issue of the Mau forest, we have been made to understand that the so-called Tangatanga residents are actually advising them not to leave the Mau, the periphery of the Mau, to stay around, because when they take the leadership, they'll go back to their farms. And when I say their farm, he means the forest which was illegally allocated. So what I'll like to request the government is to move with speed and fence the forest, and also ensure those trespassers are removed.
We do apologize for that mix-up. That was Ole Kenta and not Ole Choi, the newly elected chairperson of the Maasai Council of Elders in Narok County. We do apologize for that. Let us take a look at other stories now. The new coronavirus vaccine, Novavax jab, has been tested to be 89.3% effective against the new virus variant found in the UK. If approved for use by the Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agencies, the doses are expected to be distributed in the second half of this year.
The Novavax jab has shown to be nearly 90% effective at preventing coronavirus in its third phase clinical trials in the UK, which enrolled more than 15,000 people aged between 18 to 84. Those who received the jab, 27% were older than 65. If the vaccine is passed by the regulator, it offers hope for the future of UK to get its vulnerable population vaccinated. Meanwhile, China has warned Taiwan against seeking independence from Beijing, who have long tried to limit Taiwan's international activities, and both have vied for influence in the Pacific region. China says this attempt means war. The warning comes days after China stepped up military activities and flew warplanes near the island, and the new U.S. President Joe Biden's reaffirmation of his commitment to Taiwan, setting up his stance in Asia.
And back home, a section of MCAs in Isiolo County want the national government to take swift action and end a border row with Garissa County. The MCAs are alleging an expansionist agenda pushed by a section of leaders in Jubaland. They are urging the government to implement the resolutions agreed upon during a meeting with the leaders from Isiolo, Garissa and Wajir counties last week.
County Assembly members have raised an alarm regarding the protracted border row with Garissa County, arguing that the dispute is being propagated by people with expansionist ideas being pushed by the neighboring Jubaland. Led by Sericho Ward MCA Nura Diba, they urged the government to act early and decisively to avert the alleged calculated plan to secede part of the country to Jubaland.
Sisi watu wa Isiolo, we are very peaceful people. Ile mauaji mnasikia yote, hakuna ile ilifanyika ndani ya Garissa, yote ilifanyika ndani ya Isiolo County. Kwa sababu wao sisi tunawakaribisha kwa pasture, kwa maji ambayo iko katika county yetu, na wakiwapatia hiyo hospitality, sasa wanaanza kukili mambo mengine.
The father appealed to leaders from the two counties to desist from making utterances that may cause mayhem among members of the public.
Ni wale viongozi hasa wale wanaongea vibaya, wanaleta incitement, wana incite watu yao kuongea lugha zingine sisi hatufahamu. Ati wanasema Isiolo wanapigana na majirani. Hakuna jirani sisi tunaenda kuwapiga. Watu wanakuja hapa, tunawakaribisha paka ndani ya nyumba, tunapitisha sitting room ndani ya bedroom, wakishiba, mvua ikinyesha, wakati wanarudi na ng'ombe zetu wanatuua.
The MCAs noted that during the consultative meeting convened by CS Matiang'i last week, leaders from all the three counties were present and agreed that the resolutions be implemented in order to effectively end the problem, which according to them was just an administrative anomaly where chiefs and assistant chiefs in parts of Isiolo were reporting to Garissa instead of Isiolo.
You're watching Channel 1 Lunchtime News. A quick one. The Council of Governors have been electing some officials. Of course, the term of the current office has come to an end. After 2 years, Governor Paranya is going to be relinquishing that particular position to someone else. Among those who are vying for that position is Embu Governor Martin Wambora, Dr. Godana of Tana River, as well as Kitui Governor Charity Ngilu. The Council of Governors has been tweeting, of course, saying a very big thank you to the outgoing office, which includes Governor Kuti, who has been in charge of health, Governor Muthomi Njuki of Tharaka Nithi, who has been in charge of agriculture. John Lonyangapuo, the Governor for West Pokot, has been in charge of the arid and semi-arid lands. The Governor for Nyeri County, Governor Kahiga, has been in charge of the education docket. Samuel Tunai of Narok has been in charge of tourism, and the elections are currently underway. We should be getting results for you, hopefully in a couple of minutes or moments. We hope that news will be coming from the Delta House. We are taking another break. Don't go anywhere. Channel 1 Lunchtime News will continue.
Siku ya double kwenye quickbid.co.ke tunakupa home theater na fridge.
Kama unataka home theater ni rahisi sana, enda kwenye lipa na M-Pesa, paybill number ekelea 4032353 4032353, account ekelea HT kama kodi ya home theater, fuatanisha na unique number.
Kama unataka fridge wekelea CM ndio kodi ya fridge, kisha fuatanisha na shilingi 20 peke yake. Wekelea pin yako na hivyo ndivyo utakuwa umekelea bid kwenye quickbid.co.ke. Bidhaa bora kwenye bei ya nini?
Chini kwa chini.
Jiunga na QuickBid ni rahisi. Enda kwenye M-Pesa, bonyeza paybill, kisha weka business number 4032353. Kwenye account weka kodi ya bidhaa unayotaka na bidi yako ya chini zaidi. Kwa mfano TV 16, kisha weka shilingi 20 tu kama idadi yako. Weka bidi yako pia kwenye www.quickbid.co.ke. Kumbuka, bidi ya chini zaidi ya kipekee ndio ununua. QuickBid, bidhaa bora kwa bei ya chini.
Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
Hamtanivunjia nyumba. Mutarudi zenyu kule mashambani.
Sasa mwenye nyumba alalamiki. Wewe ndio kimbelembele chako. Kinachokulalamisha nini? Sasa wamekuwa kama mirija. Kama vile Mungu anavyonyonya. Wananyonya huku, kila mtu ananyonya. Angalia vile nilivyokonda. Paka angalia.
Uncle. Mnatoka mnaenda. Funga sheni mwende. Nazungumza na nani?
And as I had informed you earlier, the spokesperson for the National Police Service, Charles Owino, did address the press, and he said that 7 individuals have been arrested and 35 firearms recovered in a security operation in Capital. And Arbab Owino called on members of the public to surrender illegal firearms to the police. This even as they put individuals financing cattle rustling in the area on notice. At the same time, Owino warned learners involved in burning and destroying of school property that all persons aged 8 years and above are criminally liable for criminal acts they commit.
First of all, may I apologize for having kept you a little bit. We were still... The police service is currently carrying out an operation in Kapedo and Arabal in order to bring the killers to book, recover illicit arms and stolen animals. We have also asked the locals to voluntarily surrender illicit arms to police. We wish to assure the public that the volunteers shall not be prosecuted. Early operations have yielded recovery of 35 firearms and arrest of 7 criminals. The National Police Service wishes to put the financiers of cattle rustling on notice that their days are numbered. Our multi-agency teams are on the ground, and we are on their trail, and soon they shall be brought. We need to remind the boys and girls that have started burnings and maliciously destroying school properties that all persons aged 8 years and above are criminally liable for any criminal acts or omissions that they commit. They have a criminal responsibility as long as you are 8 years and above. Upon prosecution, your criminal records shall be kept by the Criminal Records Office at the DCI for the rest of your life. This will definitely affect your future career prospects. We equally wish to urge the youth to keep off from individuals who may want to not only incite them, but also radicalize them with an objective of driving them to carry out acts of violence against particular individuals. Burning properties, for example, vehicles that we have witnessed in the recent past, it is important to note that such actions shall be met by full force of the law.
It's now time for business. Kenya Railways has partnered with Nzoia Sugar Company in a deal that will see the state agency transport sugar and other related products from Nzoia Company headquarters based in Bungoma to Nairobi and back. Kenya Railways Managing Director Philip Mainga said the rail haulage contract signing was a signal of a good comeback for rail operations within the western region.
Even as the rehabilitation work on the 216 kilometers Naivasha-Kisumu railway line gets underway, this development is already stirring excitement in the region. In a bid to cut transport costs and improve efficiency, Nzoia Sugar Company hope its partnership with Kenya Railways will position the company strategically to conquer the Kenyan sugar market and ultimately increase the company's market share. Speaking at the signing off ceremony, Kenya Railways Managing Director Philip Mainga revealed that future plans are in place to expand railing of the product to the coastal region, amongst other regions, including the meter gauge rail and standard gauge rail networks. This partnership comes at the back of heavy investments by the government in the rail sector countrywide in the last few years. Alan Aoko, Channel 1 Business.
A multi-agency team made up of the Kenya Police, the Anti-Counterfeit Agency, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations and the Kenya Bureau of Standards has destroyed 24 million shillings worth of illegally imported goods. The counterfeit goods, which were imported through Mombasa port by unscrupulous traders mid last year, was set ablaze as the government intensifies the crackdown on counterfeit products.
Anti-Counterfeit Agency, ACA, estimates that 1 in every 5 products sold in the Kenyan market is counterfeit, and that close to 4 million Kenyans are currently using counterfeit products, posing a serious threat to their health, security, and the economy of the country. It is for this reason that the government is intensifying efforts to stop illicit inflows of goods into the country.
Sote tumekuja ili tuweze kuharibu mali hii kwa sababu ikiachiliwa ingie katika economy yetu, mnajua inaweza kuwa na hatari kubwa kwa afya na pia kwa uchumi yenyewe. Tunataka Wakenya waweze kupata bidhaa ambazo ni muhimu, bidhaa ambazo ni safi.
Speaking during the destruction of counterfeit and expired goods stored at various godowns in Mombasa, Coast Regional Commissioner John Elungata said the government has intensified screening of all imported goods into the country through all the Kenyan border points.
Bidhaa ambayo ilikuwa imeagizwa lakini kwa sababu moja ama nyingine ikakaa sana, kwa hivyo ikaharibika. Ingine ni ile mtu alileta bila kujua uzuri wake ama ile quality yake. Sasa ilipofika hapa ikakutikana ni quality ambayo ni mbaya. ingine ikawa ni ile imeletwa bila kulipiwa kodi na KRA wakakamata. Kwa hivyo hiyo lazima iharibiwe ndio isiingie katika uchumi wetu.
The items that were destroyed include 4,412 bags of 50 kgs rice, 1,166 bags of sugar packed in 50 kilogram bags each, and 38 boxes of thermos flasks, maize flour in sacks, among other consumable goods. Alanaoko, Channel 1 Business.
And in other matters, coffee farmers in Kericho County have been introduced to organic fertilizers to improve their productivity. The new technology of compost fertilizer will help the coffee grow better from the roots, and the input is locally available, which will greatly help farmers in value addition.
Since organic fertilizers are derived from natural wastes rather than chemicals, it helps in curbing human exposure to synthetic chemicals and pesticides. The Kipkelion Coffee Mill in Kericho County, in partnership with Rock and Soils, have introduced organic fertilizers to be used by the farmers in the region by training them on the making of compost, organic and liquid fertilizers with over 10 ingredients in use, which is readily available in the area.
We are making compost, and we are making also some liquid fertilizers that will help the plant to grow better. So that we know coffee have a lot of requirements, nutritional requirements. So we want to help the plants from the roots with the compost and from the leaves with liquid foliar fertilizers.
The products used in making of the compost are cow dung, water hyacinth, sugarcane waste, banana stalks and pulps, soil and sand.
We have mixed a lot of waste products which are organic in nature, so that we get a very good fertilizer for our coffee.
Farmers are expected to realize better yields since production and sale of organic fertilizers is cheap compared to synthetic fertilizers. According to the coffee mill, farmers have been spending 24 shillings per coffee tree per year, while the use of organic fertilizer would reduce it to 13 shillings per tree.
We have mixed over 10 ingredients here that are readily available in our farms, and this makes the biocompost to be very, very cheap compared to synthetic fertilizers, which at the end of the business, our farmers will gain.
The Kilifi County government has unveiled a 200 million shilling interest-free credit line to be advanced to women and youth in the county. The facility, known as the Mbegu Fund, is expected to help small and medium enterprises expand their businesses. Earlier this year, Kilifi County government issued a total of 90 million shillings to more than 600 groups.
The governor stated that a steady and substantial flow of income is helping the groups to become financially independent in a county where poverty levels remain stubbornly high. The Mbegu Fund 3-year strategic plan is aimed at uplifting the lives of the locals through empowering them economically.
Baada ya kukaa na kutathmini ile hali vile ilivyo, kwamba mwanzo hatuwezi kuajiri kila mtu katika serikali. Pili, viwanda vyetu ni vichache, haviwezi kuajiri kila mtu. Je, wale ambao wamebaki nyumbani tutawezesha vipi kama serikali ili nao wakiwa kule nyanjani waweze kuzalisha utajiri na kujikimu kimaisha? Na ndiposa safari ya kubuni hazina hii ikaanza.
The program was set up in 2019 to help struggling communities access funding through interest-free loans. Already 8 cooperative societies have benefited from the fund. The government has allayed fears of misappropriation of funds, saying the county has put in place proper mechanism to screen deserving cases.
And across our borders, the World Bank has approved a $50 million grant to improve access to electricity in Sierra Leone and enhance institutional capacity and commercial management of the sector. The project will also be co-financed with a $2.7 million grant. Take that again, the project will also be co-financed with a $2.7 million grant by the Japan Policy and Human Resources Development Fund.
The Enhancing Sierra Leone Energy Access Project will support the country's post-COVID-19 economic recovery by providing electricity to households, businesses, health clinics and schools, which is a critical part of the recovery process. It also supports the replacement of costly fuel generation plants with low-cost power, which will free up scarce fiscal resource for other urgent socio-economic needs. This project will provide electricity to approximately 276,000 people and about 700 health facilities and schools, and help cut an average of 15,135 tons of greenhouse gas emissions per year. Elsewhere, after nearly a decade in the works, Uganda, Tanzania and Rwanda are speeding up plans to merge their stock markets electronically in a bid to ease the cost and time difficulties of cross-border trading. And completed, local investors will be able to buy and sell stocks across those three countries without the currently existing hurdles such as needing. When completed, local investors will be able to buy and sell stocks across those three countries without the currently existing hurdles, such as needing different stockbrokers in each country. The joint stock market project is funded by the World Bank. Is expected to become operational by the end of the year. The move will see the three countries create a stock exchange with a combined market cap of around $15 billion. Yet it could have been much larger had Kenya not pulled out of the project back in 2015 of alleged procurement irregularities in the awarding of software contracts. Aside from being East Africa's largest economy, Kenya is also home to the region's largest stock market with a market cap of $22 billion. Finally, South Africa's mining industry estimates it will cost around $20 million to help the government roll out COVID-19 vaccines to mine workers and community members as the country battles a surge in infections. The industry body says the Minerals Council, which represents mining firms, offered its financial and logistical assistance after the government called on the private sector to help with the rollout of vaccines, the first of which is set to arrive next week.
And further afield, Britain is banning direct passenger flights from the United Arab Emirates from Friday, shutting down the world's busiest international airline route from Dubai to London. Details of this and other stories in our global business news roundup.
Britain said it was adding the United Arab Emirates, Burundi and Rwanda to its coronavirus travel ban list because of worries over the spread of a more contagious and potentially vaccine-resistant COVID-19 variant first identified in South Africa. On its website, Emirates said it would suspend all UK passenger flights from 1300 GMT when the ban takes effect. Etihad Airways said it would only suspend flights to Britain, with those from the UK remaining unaffected. Also, executives of Hyundai Motor Company Group are divided over a potential tie-up with Apple Inc., with some raising concerns about becoming a contract manufacturer for the US tech giant, deeming the outlook for a deal. Financially, China's financial regulators want to step up exchanges with international counterparts and strengthen cooperation of antitrust issues, data treatment, and consumer protection as it implemented rules on financial holding companies last November to close regulatory loopholes. Rules require companies to have at least $731.74 million in capital to be licensed as financial holding firms, and they have to apply for approval from the central bank before establishment.
And back home, an increased hippo population at Lake Naivasha is a fate worth your trip. Conservationists attribute the hippo calf boom of up to 400 counts to increased water levels, improved vegetation, and a peaceful environment as COVID-19 reduced visitors' numbers. On Magical Scenes, we highlight attractions around the tourist hotspot Lake Naivasha.
Hippopotamus are interesting wildlife to observe from a distance while on tour or vacation in Naivasha, especially at this time when there is a hippo calf boom. Hoteliers along the shores of Lake Naivasha have made it convenient for visitors to watch and enjoy the after-calving season of the hippos. The hoteliers have put electric fence along the shores of the lake so that you as a visitor is safe to watch the wildlife. And in case you want to get to the waters, then a boat ride would be ideal.
We have attraction for the hippo. They come to view the hippo. They also come to view Lake Naivasha. You have a very nice view. Even our garden, our foraging in the hotel. No, I don't say it's dangerous, but you know, hippos, they are animals, so it's a dangerous animal, of course. But we have never any cases in of maybe the hippos attacking our clients so far. Yeah, so it's safe.
Conservationists say at least 400 calves have been born in the last 2 months. The hippos derive their name from the ancient Greek for river horse. They have wide opening mouths revealing large canine tusks, with the adults male weighing up to 1,500 kilograms and females weigh up to 1,300 kilograms. Despite its stocky shape and short legs, this mammal can run up to 13 kilometers per hour. Hippos live in water bodies, and when they step out, it is a sight worth your time. Despite the rising water levels at Lake Naivasha, we still have a reason to travel. We would come here at the Lake Naivasha and spot animals when they're swimming closer to the mainland, or even when they are basking. And besides that, you can enjoy the beautiful breeze that comes with the lake. The beauty of Lake Naivasha is more magical at night. You would play football while the hippos are grazing at a distance.
I'm not a pet person, to be honest, but I prefer animals staying in the wild. But it was quite beautiful, especially for those people in our company who got the time to see the hippos. At least someone from our company got to take a bunch of photos when the hippos were out of the lake. And that was an experience for most of us, because a lot of people think that hippos, they just live in water, right?
Dinner would traditionally be set on grounds overlooking the lake, an ideal destination for holidaying and business meetings. Irene Mchuma Udim, Magical Sense in Naivasha, the county of Nakuru.